All right, let's talk about a real hidden gem. I love sci-fi, but I especially love seeing what can be done on a small budget. And Prospect is a cracking little sci-fi film that more people need to see. It's got that rough and ready charm of an indie flick, but with world building that feels genuinely rich and lived in. Like if someone threw the treasure of the Sierra Madre and Alien into a blender and added a dash of 90s retro futurism. The story follows C, played by Sophie Thatcher, and her dad, Damon J. Duplass, who are prospectors hunting for a rare, valuable resource on a backwater, swampy moon that looks a bit like Louisiana if it were plonked on an alien world. They're not exactly there legally, more like scavengers trying to hit the jackpot before someone else does. The treasure they're after is this bizarre golden gem thingy called Aurelac, which they dig out from inside these gloopy, squidgy alien pods. It's all very messy, very meticulous, and immediately sets up that this world is unforgiving and hostile. Before long, things go pear-shaped when they bump into a pair of rival prospectors, including Pedro Pascal's Ezra, who's looking slick and shifty. Without giving too much away, let's just say it all goes wrong. People get twitchy, guns are pointed, and Damon ends up dead. C is suddenly left alone and stuck with Ezra, someone who might help her survive or might just nick the Aurelac and leg it. It becomes this tense, grimy game of trust and betrayal as they wander this dangerous, marshy wasteland, dodging other shady types while also trying not to kill each other. Pascal is fantastic here. This was before he was in every movie and acting like a very strange man, but you can see why his stock rose in Hollywood. He's got great screen presence and he's a genuinely good actor. His character Ezra is a proper wildcard. One minute he's fairly charming, a smooth talker and half philosophical, and the next minute you're not quite sure if he's going to stab someone in the back. C, meanwhile, is sharp and resourceful, but there's a vulnerability to her. You get the sense she's had to grow up far too quickly in a galaxy that doesn't care if she makes it out alive. The film has this brilliant, grimy aesthetic, like if someone raided a skip behind a 70s sci-fi prop department. The spaceship interiors look like the inside of a camper van with knobs, levers, and clunky panels, which makes it feel like a universe where tech is more practical than flashy. The weapons look like they've been cobbled together from sports gear, and the costumes are heavy, chunky, and practical, like space miners should wear. The whole thing plays out like a western, but in space. It's got treasure hunters, double crosses, tense standoffs, and grimy saloons where a wrong glance could get you shot. The dialogue can feel like gibberish at times, with made-up slang and lore thrown in, but that just adds to the immersion. You feel like you've been dropped into a world that's been grinding along long before you arrived. The plot itself isn't the tightest. You might find yourself wondering exactly where it's all going, but that's kind of the point. It's less about the destination and more about the journey, the atmosphere, and the tension of never quite knowing who you can trust. Honestly, for a film made on a shoestring budget, it's incredibly impressive. The practical effects give it a texture that most big CGI-filled blockbusters lack these days. If you're into scrappy, character-driven sci-fi that isn't afraid to get its hands dirty, Prospect is an absolute must-watch. I loved it, and I reckon more people should give it a go. Also, Pedro Pascal is great in this. Don't be put off just because he's now in everything. If you enjoyed the video, click that like button and subscribe for me. Until next time, peace out.